Our next speaker, second to last, is an external speaker, Vanessa van Richter. Vanessa is co-founding the Anouk Foundation and is also a member of the board of ProFonds, which is a Swiss umbrella organization for foundation NGO here in Switzerland. She's originally Swiss, but studied in London for a while, then worked in microfinancing in Asia and South America. She's been around quite a few countries. For the last 14 years, she's been back in Switzerland, and she's working to improve hospitals and nursing home environments. So Vanessa will talk to us about brightening lives through therapeutic murals. Vanessa, stage is all yours.
I would like to speak to you about my godson, Theo, who at the age of 3 was diagnosed with leukemia. Today he's a cancer survivor, but in his first year of chemotherapy, he basically lived in hospital. He hated being there. He was frightened of the medical equipment. He shouted and kicked as loud as he could. He was known as being the loudest screamer on the ward. To administer his treatment, his parents and 3 nurses had to hold him down. The hospital got psychiatrists in to help him conquer his fears and calm him. But nothing worked. Something had to be done. His parents remembered that I had co-founded the Anouk Foundation, whose mission is to humanize hospitals, so they asked for my help. Humanize hospitals, let me tell you what we mean. We have a very simple and straightforward solution. We paint murals. Here is a before and after example. We transform bleak hospital walls into cheerful, vibrant, and welcoming ones. Our aim is to help patients and residents overcome their fear and reconnect to positive emotions. And why was the Anouk Foundation created 7 years ago? From a young age, I was sensitive to my surrounding. I knew a bleak environment made me feel weak and empty, whereas an uplifting one made me feel strong and resourceful. For example, as a teenager, to boost my energy, I wrote in huge letters, "I love life," on the walls of the school courtyard, where others wrote nasty words. Unfortunately, the principal was not very amused. But I never let go of the idea that our surroundings influence our emotions. And when years later I myself went to hospital, I was intensely reminded of what was missing visually. And then I had the good fortune of coming together with a group of artists, doctors, philanthropists, who all had the same sensitivity. And together we created the Anouk Foundation. From the choice of the colors to the themes on the murals, our artwork has a therapeutic goal. Our method is based on the principles of art therapy and findings of scientific publications on the effect our surroundings have on our emotions and on our health. We work with a group of highly trained professional artists that come from all over Europe. They work with us since the beginning and dedicate themselves fully to the mission for about 6 months a year. Let me walk you through our routine. First, the artists go to the hospital, listen to the staff, and learn about the daily routine, about the age of the patients, how long they're there for, and then they create a set of drawings adapted to the needs of every room and the ward as a whole. Once the sketches are approved, they start to paint the murals. We use paint that is odor-free, quick to dry, and can be disinfected, as hygiene is a top priority in every hospital. Of course, the style of the murals is always different as we adapt to the needs of every institution. It can go from very realistic to monochrome outlines, but it will never be abstract, as the patients need to be able to relate to the images. The outcome is a tailor-made project achieved through a quick, efficient, and cost-effective method. This is exactly what we did for Theo. We transformed the oncology ward into a welcoming, colorful, and friendly place. We used humor to de-dramatize frightening medical equipment. This painting actually made Theo laugh. It distracted him whilst he had his treatment. There was no longer a need to restrain him. His family and staff used the images as storytelling tools, helping Theo dream up positive thoughts. Often children will identify with the characters in the murals. They become a vehicle to mobilize emotional strength, helping children fight their illness and endure the long treatments. For example, Theo loved the acrobatic skier and his friend the penguin. It reminded him of his older brother and the fun they would have playing together in the snow. Our strategy worked. The artwork had a tremendous effect on Theo, creating a sense of magic and wonder in places he previously associated with terror. He was now willing to go back to hospital, much to the relief of his family and the doctors. His parents, Nina and Peder, told us that the whole atmosphere of the ward had changed. There was a sense of hope and reassurance that could be felt throughout. The cheerful environment also lifted the spirits of the nurses and doctors, reflecting positively on the care they could give to the patients. It brought a sense of calm to the ward, making their work progress more easily. A head pediatrician from Winterthur once told me she liked to lie in this room to recharge her battery on her breaks. It made her smile and dream. As it has worked for Theo, it can work for many more. More than 650 scientific publications have proven that our surroundings impact us positively. All studies point in the same direction. A positive environment is an important source of recovery, well-being, and health. Experts have identified 5 attributes that have a significant impact on health and can all be related to our work. 1, contact with nature. Art with a nature theme reduces stress, anger, and fear, and increases pleasant feelings. 2, it gives options, signs, and information about where to go, reduces disorientation, and helps patients feel in control. 3, it provides social support. A welcoming waiting room enhances social support, as friends and family are more willing to come and visit. 4, it reduces noise. A calming atmosphere in the ward means the staff is less stressed. There's less running and shouting. And finally, it helps to distract. MRI and heart surgery patients that have viewed landscape scenes reported less anxiety and needed less medication. The good news is, this concept helps all ages. Imagine you're walking into this nursing home with your mother or father. The walls are bare. The corridor is long and empty. You feel lost. You do not perceive this as a potential new home. There is nothing personal or reassuring. You're both scared. You feel guilty, your mother and father feel abandoned. Imagine now, you're walking into this corridor. How do you feel? Welcomed, supported, safe? You want to stay and look at the scenery, at the flying birds? Just last week, I visited our newest project in Zurich. The paintings depict regional scenes like the lake, the mountains, local flora and fauna. Everything is familiar. Nothing is foreign or unknown. The whole atmosphere of the ward is geared towards reassuring and comforting the residents. And as you walk along the corridor, you will see the passing of the seasons as a sign for the passage of time, which most residents are no longer aware of. And next to every room, we painted a different bird to help the residents orient themselves and find their room. A very gentle lady, Anna, took me by the arm. With a twinkle in her eyes, she guided me towards the swallows next to her room. With a gentle voice, she just said, "Danke." The murals are used by the nurses in their daily care to help residents tap into positive memories and tell those stories. Head nurse Charlotte also emphasized that they help the staff in their daily care. She says, "We feel better working here, and it gives us the energy to face our daily routine." A frequent comment is that family come more often, and especially they stay longer. Throughout the project, our patients, our artists, engage with the residents. And in Geneva recently, an elderly resident told them, "These walls were like death. You brought us our life back." And what about non-medical institutions? Could our method work there? Absolutely. We have, for example, worked in an orphanage in Poland. A journalist friend who knows the place and the children since many years knew about the project and went to interview the director about the changes. She told me she was overwhelmed by emotion after seeing the new sunny atmosphere the artist created in the orphanage. Now the children had the warm and cheerful home they so much needed. For example, 4-year-old Carolina used to cry at night because she had nightmares. But since we painted this gentle panda next to her bed, she said it scared away the bad witch, and she slept well. Our murals touch all ages. An 18-year-old boy who lived in the orphanage practically his whole life had scenes from France painted in his room. And he told my friend that these paintings made him feel happy and that he hoped to travel around Europe someday. As you can see, the methodology is simple and very effective. So far, we have implemented over 100 projects in 13 countries, from Portugal, Holland, Sweden, Serbia, to name a few, in hospitals, special needs facilities, orphanages, or nursing homes. In short, any place where an adult or a child has to stay away from home. We have humanized these institutions, reducing the stress inherent to them, facilitating communication, improving staff working conditions, and increasing the well-being. Painting murals like this should become mainstream, just like putting on your seatbelt or doctors washing their hands. It should be nothing special, but the obvious thing to do. So I invite you to go to your local hospital or nursing home. Think how you would feel if you were to spend time there and spread the message that a soothing and reassuring atmosphere brightens lives. Thank you.